Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is for the acting Premier. In yesterday's speech from the throne, your government talked about protecting automotive, steel and agriculture workers from unfair U.S. trade policies, but conspicuously absent from the list were our forestry workers. This in a speech only days after the U.S. Department of Commerce announced duties of up to 22% on uncoated groundwood paper, newspaper, newsprint and paper for book publishing, this on top of the up to 6.5% countervailing duty imposed in January. Speaker, this duty is based on an investigation into Catalyst Paper of British Columbia. Because Catalyst was allegedly found to be dumping, any Ontario pulp and paper companies that were not audited are assumed to be dumping at the same rate. Speaker, why did this government fail to mention forestry jobs in the speech from the throne? Is this yet another indication that Northern Ontario is not important to this government?
Minister of Natural Resources and Forestry.
Minister of Natural Resources and Forestry.
Question. It's a pleasure to rise to describe the role that we are playing in supporting the forestry in Ontario. Indeed, we are worried about what's going on in the protectionist attitude of the U.S. And as you know, our government has done a lot to spread the good word and protect the forestry against this protectionist attitude. I had the pleasure of meeting the Rare People company recently to talk about the struggle that they have in responding to this protectionist agenda from the U.S. We're continuing to help them and listen to them. We have a strategy to continue to negotiate with the help of the federal government the way in which we can resolve this long-standing disputes where we have been successful in the past.
Answer.
So we are hoping that we will be able to continue to do the same.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Back to the acting Premier. One of the companies hardest hit by the duties will be Rainier, formerly Tembec. The government says that people are important. So what about the 815 people in Kapuskasing, Cochrane and Hearst who work for Rainier? People like the 57,000 people who work in the forestry sector. In order for these people to keep working, the forestry companies will need help to survive the 4 to 5 year legal process that comes with a U.S. trade dispute. Speaker, why isn't this government standing up for these people and their jobs in the forestry sector? What will the government do to save these jobs that are so important to Northern Ontario?
Thank you. Minister.
I'm very pleased again to rise about the work that we've been doing in the forestry sector for the last several years. It's been a pleasure to meet with the forestry sectors and talk about the myriad of programs that are there to help them. There are programs to help them build roads, to support them in that context. We have also helped them recruit appropriate employees, which is one of the issues that was raised, which is the shortage of skilled workers that they have. Indeed, the forestry sector seem to be progressing and wanting to have more access to more lumber. We are cooperating with them and ensuring that they are maintaining their forestry. We are very proud of the fact that many of them have sustainable forestry in Ontario, makes us a leader in the world in terms of sustainable forest management. This continues to be a priority for our government to support their workers and Northern Ontario. I've had the privilege of meeting